Welcome to another episode of A&A Mustangs. Today's episode, I'm going to be getting the Coyote ready to go on the Challenger. Stay tuned.
Music bed.
So there's a few things, now that the Challenger is, I do have the tires here for it, but suspension is fully done, front, rear. I did move it back, so now I can have room for the engine to start going in. So suspension's all done. Next step on this is going to be to start getting the engine in there and actually fabricate the motor mount. So there's a lot of different mounts that you can use, like the new edge ones, and they should mount in here. I'm not sure which bolts they mount to, but they do mount in here. You can buy aftermarket ones, all that stuff. So I have what I went ahead and bought was, I'm also working on my 67. I'm gonna start doing some body work, so I took the tires off so I can work on all the flares. I want to get this one painted this year in the next few months. So while working on that one, I am also going to be really focusing on the body work on this one. It looks good from a few feet. I'm not a professional body person or anything. I am going to paint it myself though, but I do want it to look the best it can. So I do still have a little bit of body filler to put on there and sand, just make things smooth and get it ready for paint. So I'll be doing that. But anyways, these are the mounts that I bought. So these are the Gen 3 Hemi mounts for the QA1 coilover suspension. So they go right on the cross member here on the bottom, and really the main reason is I wanted this part here at the bottom. So these were kind of, they're kind of pricey, but I did want this part that mounts to the K member. It has the bushings and everything. And so this is, let's see, passenger right hand, which really for me doesn't matter, but it goes like this, and then it mounts to the Gen 3 Hemi, which, man, it's, if you see, like, the bolts are so close. I think I can get the two bolts there to line up, just not like the back one. So the plan is, I do have some really thick steel up there, a plate left over right here. This is 1/4 inch thick, really big, and it's pretty good size. I do have a plasma cutter, which I don't know if I used in any of the episodes that I've done, but darn it, roaches. So makes it really nice. I did end up making my suffering connector, so I used the plasma to cut it. Makes cutting metal way easier than using a grinder. It's just really fast. So the plan here is to get that plate, and actually, depending on how it works out, but my plan is to make a plate that bolts on, make it this big, similar on the other side, put it on here with the 4 bolts, and then depending where this engine lands, hopefully this piece, if it goes on there flat to the other plate, then I can just cut it smaller, but then weld it all around. Or if I need to, I can just cut it here. If I need it shorter, cut this tube and weld this tube directly to that plate. I mean, that's how this mount is, so that should work, no problem. So anyways, to get that done, I do have to get the engine in the car, which, you know, I have done before, but there's a couple different things that I'm going to be doing today. So when they were pulling this engine out, I think when they pulled it, they cracked this cam cover, valve cover, rocker cover, whatever you want to call it. So I got a set here that's just the factory. I think this one's probably had more mileage, so I'm gonna see if the gasket on this one is good. I'm just gonna transfer over. I think that's the passenger side down there. And so what I was gonna do, I was just gonna, you know, epoxy this, take it off, epoxy it. I didn't want to take it off to make sure that there's no pieces of plastic in there, but since I found a used set here, so I'm just gonna probably put that one there. So I'm gonna do that. I do have the throttle body, so I got a used one. I'm gonna bolt that in there. And then this is the performance pack engine. So it did come with the engine oil cooler, but the hoses are cut and you can't get these hoses separately. So before, with the factory pieces on the Challenger, this was going to interfere, and so I did buy the little adapter here to take the oil cooler off and put just the regular, you know, put the oil filter right into the housing, no oil cooler. Now, yes, oil cooler will, you know, keep your temps down, probably if you do like road course racing, things like that. But since I can't get the hoses, now you can get the whole kit. I think it's like the Bus 302 kit, and it's, I don't know, I think it's like $300. That's the hoses and the cooler. So if I ever do want to go back, if there's room, I'll just get a whole new setup, you know, and run it that way. So for now, I'm gonna take it off, make it a little bit simpler, you know, not too much stuff around, oil filter right in there, a little bit more clearance. So I'm gonna do that. And then pretty much once I'm done with that, I am gonna, I think, paint the block black just to kind of put some paint on there. Once that's done, then it's gonna be ready to take out of my engine stand, put on the hoist, and then get the transmission. I'm gonna put the transmission on the engine stand so I can do the filter, gasket, all the seals, get it ready put together, and then get in the car. So today, getting the engine, the Coyote here, ready to put in. Okay, went ahead and took the cam cover off. I did find a couple small pieces when it broke that went in there around the area. I don't see anything else, so that's good. You know, good example here for this is a lower mileage engine, but also you can really tell that whoever had this took care of it. I mean, look at this cam cover, it's clean. You know, it looks like I took it off and cleaned it, but I didn't. You know, everything is nice. This I got on, I think, Facebook Marketplace. I think the guy's engine blew up, and I know, I mean, maybe I think he had turbos, I don't know, but besides the point, I mean, look at this freaking cam covers. You know, it's, yes, the engine had catastrophic failure, But also, I mean, even the outside looks kind of dirty there. And look at the sludge build up on this. And that's just the cam cover. I could imagine the rest of the block. So, you know, I bet you this car didn't have its oil changed too often. And now looking at it, I mean, this thing is broken there. I don't know if that's where they try to pull it out. I know this one, the guy had broken it over here, which is the driver's side. I didn't go pick it up. I sent my nephew, but I sent Junior, but you know, I'm not going to use this. To me, this is worse than the one I have. At least this one's clean. I'm not going to spend, I don't know, 30 minutes cleaning this one. You know, all the seals are junk. And so to buy a new gasket and seals to put this one that's broken, spend all that time cleaning, I'm just gonna do what I was gonna do originally. So clean this area right here for the broken pieces. I'm gonna get, I mean, I'll probably just even break this one and get a piece of plastic, not put it on the inside because I don't want to fall in, but maybe like put it on the outside and then epoxy that piece to the top there, just to keep the oil from leaking out. So I'm gonna figure out, see what I can get together, but I'm gonna get that one fixed. I'm not gonna use these, and then I'll show you what I did. What I ended up doing is cutting the piece out of the other cam cover, just this kind of rectangle piece, and then I epoxy. So I use JB Weld 5-minute epoxy, getting it in there. Once it's dry, I'm gonna put a little bit more of a coat around it just to make sure. I might put a little bit here on the inside, but hopefully that does it. So what I'm gonna do now is just clean around the area to put that back in here. Just a little bit of the dirt. I will have to put a little bit of the RTV right here, like they did factory, just to make sure it doesn't leak. And then I'm gonna install the throttle body as well. So while I wait for the cam cover, I'm gonna go ahead and take this off. Looks like the oil filter was smashed in shipping, so. Oil looks pretty good. I mean, a little bit brown, but not too bad, which is a good sign. That this has a Motocraft filter. Maybe the previous owner got it serviced at the dealer, so you know, took it in for his oil changes and everything. So okay, so where the oil filter actually threads in, there's a hex, and I believe like a 14, but this is the little replacement here. So pretty much it's just a new piece. It's just shorter. And so it's a 14mm hex. For the new one anyways, it looks like the oh, don't tell me. Oh man. Okay. Back to the drawing board. That is a 14, but the hex is in there. Pretty much at the end of where this little tool is, so. Man. Okay. That sucks. Well, if you are gonna do this, get one of these that's long, because you're gonna need it. When I went to the store, I didn't see any long ones, so that's why I don't know. I could probably sand this down or cut the threads off of this one. So I think when you buy the new one, it comes with the new piece. I would hope so, because if you're upgrading it. But at this point, I mean, I have no choice. So I'm gonna grab some vice grips just to see if it comes out. I doubt it, but I'll get a hacksaw and just cut it right there, or I'll get my grinder and just cut it. Okay, so actually I put my vice grips and it came loose right away. They hold on pretty good. Now the threads on this are gonna be a little bit messed up. But I am gonna save this just in case I ever want to go back and the new one doesn't come with it. I can restore the threads. They're not too bad, just in case. I'll hold on to it with all of my other junk I have around. But that's what it is, pretty much just an adapter. So you see the new one, pretty much just gonna thread in, and then the filter's gonna thread in there. So, but you can see the hex, it's in there, it's just all the way in here. So, you know. So at this point, you should be able to pull this out. So this is a oil to water cooler, I guess. Cooling goes through here, cools it off. It's not per se like an engine oil cooler where the engine oil goes out and gets cooled by the radiator. It's the other way. The radiator water comes in here. So alrighty, let's get this in here. Now this one has like a little shoulder. Where it's gonna bottom out. Where the other one, since it was holding that whole housing, you know, that's where it was pushing it down. So that should be tight enough. I did put a little bit of anti-seize, but thread locker, just because when you take the filter off, you want the filter come off, not this. And then normally your filter, you want to hand tighten anyways, that way, you know, it doesn't bring that piece out. But with the thread locker, it should help it stay in there. So, and I use the blue one, so that way it's not too bad if I ever do need to switch it out to the cooler. All right, so that piece is done. I was cleaning the block and everything, so I can spray it now. Kind of have to think about it, because the only thing, if I had it all bare, I would actually use like the engine or car paint with clear coat. That stuff lasts a long time. With the engine paint, if you ever throw brake cleaner, it's just gonna rub that stuff off. So I might just leave it like this, just, you know, aluminum, because if I do put a coat in there, you know, anything I throw in it's just gonna rub that paint off anyway. So, and I know there's gonna be a lot of work being done on here to get my alternator done and all that stuff. So for now, I'm not gonna paint it, but I am gonna take these studs off from the exhaust, because the headers do have regular bolts. So that'll be the next step. And then that will also give me a little bit more time for the epoxy to dry before I put it on there. Okay, so the last thing to do here is to take the studs off here. So you need an E socket, looks like E8 is what fits on those bolts. This is 1/4-inch drag little socket, so let's see if hopefully they're not too tight. Obviously when they took the factory exhaust manifold off, some of the studs came with a nut, and that happens sometimes. So they shouldn't be on there too bad, but sometimes, you know, depends how old your engine is, they're gonna be kind of seized. So make sure you get the right size torques. That way you don't strip it. This is pretty much almost dry, but I'm gonna let it dry completely, and then probably tomorrow I'll mix a little bit more epoxy and then just go around it, and that should be good enough. I can get a brand new one for, I think they're over $100, but I can get a pair of the aluminum version for, I think, like $250 or so. So if it does start leaking in the future, I might just opt out for the aluminum ones. They look nice. You know, if I'm gonna spend over $100 for one, might as well just get both of them. So, but for now, I think that'll be good. Right, so all these are good. Let's move over to the other side and get those taken care of. All right, so went ahead and did everything I needed to do, get this thing ready. Throttle body is in. There's gonna be a lot more stuff that I'll have to do once it's in, cooling system and all that, but the exhaust studs are out as well. So this is gonna be ready. Next episode, I'm gonna get my engine hoist, get it out of here, take it out of the stand, put the transmission in the stand, get that all done, and then put them together and put them in the car. So I hope you enjoyed the video today. If you have any questions, comments, leave them below. Subscribe to the channel. We'll see you in the next one.